Hello, it's Delia. Thanks for clicking on. So we're going to talk a little bit more about breathing because of the the comments that the way people have responded to the breathing exercise. So let me just let you know some of the things that this breathing process can help you with. So if you have headaches, if you have eye strain, if your stomach gets weird or upset, if you have tightness of chest, if you have irritability, if you're anxious, if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, if your neck and shoulders are tight, all of those things will be helped by this breathing practice. And if you don't like thinking about it as a breathing practice, you can think about it as just breathing. And if that doesn't seem potent enough, then you can think about it as a breathing practice. But breathing changes your physical reality. And once you get some oxygen in your system, your brain can think better. You make better choices. So think about when you're really stressed for time and money and you don't see a way out, right? We all have an example of that, right? So when you're in that space, you know from experience that you don't make the best choices because there's a desperation to get out of that energy, to get out of that space. And now think about a time when you had plenty of money in the bank and all the bills were paid and you had lots of time. Maybe you were on vacation. Maybe you were 8. But just think about a time when you had your, you weren't stressed, right? So, and if you can't find a moment in your life, right, in this 10 seconds where you had your needs met, just kind of imagine what it would be like to have all your bills paid and you still have, $1,000 in the bank or $100 in the bank or some sum that makes your body feel better. And when you're making decisions from that space, from that energy, well rested, well fed, just talk to your good friends, the choices that you make are going to be very different than the choices that you make when there's just like a threat of not knowing what to do or how to solve things, right? So even if you are in tricky circumstances, especially if you are in tricky circumstances with time or money or relationships or whatever, this breathing makes a huge difference. So there's a lot of things about noticing your mindset and noticing your beliefs or noticing what you're thinking, all of which can be very wonderful. But when you're having a migraine, when your stomach is really jippy and you need to go to a meeting, when you're feeling really at a loss, at loose ends, when things are really critical for you, breathing will help. It will. And the more you practice doing this, the more you employ breathing when things are wiggy, you'll notice a big change. So we're going to just kind of review it again, right? So we're going to use the 2 different kinds. We're going to start with what's called the pursed lip breathing. And so that means you breathe in through your nose and then you exhale through pursed lips. So you're like blowing out. Okay. So just go ahead and close your eyes. The purpose of closing your eyes is that it cuts down on the distractions, because every time you're looking at things, It's taking you out of your body. So you close your eyes to come in to your body more. Now, there can be pain, there can be anxiety, there can be unresolved issues. There can be things that make it seem uncomfortable to come in. And this exercise will help address that as well. So close your eyes and take a few nice, slow, deep breaths. Now you want to use the counting because the counting also helps. So just breathe in to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause and exhale through pursed lips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So find your rhythm, find your count, and be counting in your head, and have your exhale be a little bit longer than your inhale. Breathe in through your nose. When you breathe in through your nose, you it creates a particular kind of a gas that is actually helpful for you, or an enzyme, I forget which, but it helps your body. Plus, the oxygen actually gets into your lungs when you breathe in through your nose. Not so much when you breathe in through your mouth. Anybody who has asthma or any breathing stuff knows that you can be huffing and puffing through your mouth and you'll never get oxygen that way. You have to breathe in through your nose, count, pause, and exhale through pursed lips. And just continue as I'm explaining things, and notice what it's like to breathe in through your nose. Maybe you normally breathe in through your mouth and you didn't know that. So breathing in through your nose is the way to actually get the oxygen into your lungs. And exhaling through pursed lips just helps the body release more of the stuff that your body releases when you exhale. And breathing this way is really good for any kind of respiratory thing. So it's great when you're sick, when you have asthma, when you have an asthma attack, or any kind of respiratory thing. This particular pursed lips breathing will help with all kinds of things. And breathing to the count helps you participate in breathing more than if you're just in and out, in and out. And it also helps the nervous system to calm down when you count your breath. All right, so relax your focus. And now we're going to do another kind of breathing whose name I can't remember right now. And in this breath, we're going to breathe in and then kind of snort a little more. I think we did this the other day. And then exhale through pursed lips. And what this style of breathing does is it helps to expand farther, the little sacs farther into your lungs. And then when you exhale, you exhale farther into deeper parts of the lungs. So breathe in through your nose, and then a little more, and then exhale. Counting is also good here. Breathe in through your nose, a little more, and exhale. Good. Body. Breathe into the nose, a little more, and exhale. Good body. So continue to breathe. Breathe in through your nose and then a little more, and then exhale. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what we're doing. So as you're breathing into the count and then taking in a little bit more, you're filling in farther into your lungs. And then when you exhale, you can actually exhale more of the byproduct of breathing, so that you get a cleaner exhale and your lungs actually get to release more. And this is, we focus a lot on breathing in, but breathing out is really a big part of this. And so the more you're breathing in through your nose, and then a little bit more, and then exhale. And the exhale can be almost like letting the air out of the tire. It can be pretty relaxed, and just allow yourself to exhale and then exhale a little more maybe. This is not about stressing. This is not about putting tension on your body. It's not about all the stuff that athletes, are always trying to do, kind of feel the burn and push it farther. It's not about that. It's about actually just allowing your body to get the oxygen that it requires, which in our modern life seems to fall off the list of things you need to do today. There's just so much in the way our society is operating these days that it takes us out of the most preliminary kinds of self-care, which is actually breathing and actually drinking water. So continue to breathe. And a really useful thing to do, especially if this is new to you, is to set your alarm on your phone for like every 20-25 minutes. And when the alarm goes off, you just take a few nice deep breaths, maybe 5. And also take 5 sips of water. And if you do this every 20-25 minutes during the course of the day, you're going to change the habit. You're going to change your practice of not giving your body what it needs into actually giving your body what it needs. So we can change our mindset. We can change what we're thinking. All of those are good things to do. But if the body doesn't have its basic needs met, if it's not oxygenated, if it's not hydrated, and then food and rest, right? But let's just talk about oxygenating and hydrating right now. And if your body is not getting what it needs to survive, no amount of thinking is going to calm your body down. It's really just a matter of fact. Does your body have the oxygen that it requires? It's yes or no. If your body has the oxygen it requires, it will not be so nervous. And if it has the hydration that it needs, you're not going to have headaches. I mean, it's going to change your physical environment dramatically. And I mean, sometimes I think that if you had to pay $10,000 to breathe, we would do a better job of it. But when you're not hydrated, look up dehydration and look at the list of effects that it has on the body. And the effects of not having enough oxygen also has tremendous effects on the body. And when your body is in actual physical threat, existential threat, it's not an emotion, it's a fact, whether it has enough oxygen, whether it has enough water. And when it doesn't, all the alarms are going to go off. So you could have all the money in the world, and you could have the most peaceful day in the world, and you can have handled all of your childhood trauma, and still, if you don't have enough oxygen and if you don't have enough water, your body's going to go into freak out, because it should. It's trying to get your attention. So once you can breathe and have water. And there's, this is not a common thing these days, breathing and having water. So that's why a lot of people will set their alarms for every 15, 20 minutes. And just to break the habit of ignoring the body and start giving the body what it requires. And that will change everything. It just changes your physical reality quite a bit. And when you have the experience of your physical experience of life changing in that way, you get a sense of how powerful you are. You do have a lot more power in a lot of ways. I don't mean domination power. I don't mean power like power over anybody. I mean, you have the power to make your life much better. And so breathing and sipping water, they're like superpowers. And when you do them, you can see all kinds of things changing in your world. I mean, imagine, just notice how your body feels now. I mean, I bet your shoulders are farther down away from your ears. I bet your stomach is less jippy. I bet your whole torso feels better, including your belly. And it just changes everything. It de-stresses the body in the most amazing ways. So I know it's not terribly difficult or expensive. And I know that it's two of the most powerful things you can do is to breathe and drink water. So those are my helpful hints for today. And I will see you next time. Keep breathing.